we do a take. That is hilarious. All right, so we're up and running. My eyes are watering.
I know, it's such a special
So
day.
it is a
Emotional
special
day.
day. We're already crying. I am going to grab these links, post them to our socials just so you guys have access. Typically, obviously, if you just go to our link tree anyway, it has our YouTube, and that's on there. But my personal Facebook is where we're streaming from because I don't have a Facebook for the podcast. I don't know why. I felt like it wasn't necessary. Maybe. I don't know,
We shall see.
We shall see. I guess after this maybe I'll consider. Or no, because it has to be. No, I guess I can figure it out. Anyway.
Make it a
All right,
business.
let me grab these
Well, while she's
linkies.
doing that, let's go ahead and start with the introduction. Is that cool with you?
No, not yet. We want to
Not
get
yet?
people on.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole point.
Oh, okay, my bad. I misunderstood.
You're good. No, I'm like, let's get people going. Hopefully. Alrighty. Okay, share my links. Oh yeah, I think I have to share them separately. Which is kind of trash if you ask me.
I know, it's 2025. You'd think they just like.
You think they just make it easier on you? That's all right. That's okay. We're gonna pump your gas one day.
You're gonna pump our gas someday.
What did I say? I'm gonna pump it?
Yeah.
Girl, the way the economy is going right now,
Honestly, you
you
know
best
what?
believe it.
Honestly,
You best believe it.
in this economy, I find myself saying that a lot lately.
Yeah, because we're in a recession.
Woo! What, our
Woo-hoo.
second one?
Yeah, in our lifetime.
Yep.
Fuck the Great Depression. All right, I'm like, is there anyone even in here? No. See, we're good. We gotta get them going. Gets the people going. Dude, I want to watch Blades of Glory so bad.
Oh my god. What's the actor's name who was also in Napoleon Dynamite?
Which one?
The Napoleon Dynamite, that actor.
Ooh, hold on. I am really glad I checked this because my Facebook is private. So I would put it on public. The one who plays Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah.
John Heater.
Yeah. I want to have a marathon of
Oh,
his
yeah, that's him.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him. He's funny.
Oh, ew, put the wrong thing that I whatever. Dude, I swear all the kinks on here.
Is this gonna be in the final recording?
I can edit it out.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I end it, when I stop it, it'll give us the raw recording, just how we normally record. It's the same thing, and then I can edit it. However, what's live is live. Season 2 finale. Let's go. Save. Okay. 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 One more. I don't know. Yeah. Facebook. Copy link. Dude, I want a social media manager. I'd be boss. I'd be boss. Okay.
Did you get any rain today?
Not at work or anything.
Yeah, it like sprinkled for maybe 1 minute and then it was done.
Go make sure to go share all this stuff on yours. I'll add you in a second. I'll add you. Let's go. Bless you, Mama. Mama's over there sneezing.
Poor baby.
Oh, we got one on Facebook. I don't know who it is. We'll see what. Oh, yeah. I got to pull up the chat. I love saying stuff like that. Let me pull up the chat. I feel like a YouTuber when I say that. It makes me so happy. It's probably Jacob. It's my biggest supporter. And the one from Riverside. So Riverside gives us a link.
I can see the chat.
Can you?
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah. I did.
Cool.
I guess remember I told you so Riverside isn't beta, but when we started, they always have had like updates constantly there are updates. He said pull up the chat. I pulled up the chat. All right. So I'm gonna share this. I'm just gonna do Facebook and YouTube. Fuck the Riverside link. It's just easier this way. So I'm gonna mention you and moi. I mention you and moi, and we can get us started.
Okay, I just posted it too. Hi guys.
Hey, hey, hey. This guy.
Exactly.
Who's this guy? Who is this man? I've been telling him that. Okay. All right, we're going to share this link. This is the only downside I hate about sharing stuff from a previous page is because you can't click the links like on the story directly. You have to go into the other story. And some people are like lazy and they're like, man, I want to. So I always double check and make sure to post a valid link in my story on top of the previous one. I do the extra mile for you guys. Always. Let me get my YouTube links. It's 9:22. 9:22, 7:22.
I was like, did you time travel? We're still
It's
in
called
the same time zone, right?
No, I magically moved to New York. Imagine.
I'd be like,
That'd be so fun.
take me with
Bitch. Take me with you.
Oh, literally.
All right.
Especially as it heats up in Texas.
Where's my link? There we go. Live on YouTube.
Let me know when you're ready to get started.
Girl, I'm trying.
I know. I'm just saying.
I will tell you.
Cool.
I gotta post all the links. Remember I told you like when you share it, people can't just click the link. So when I share anything, I have to go add the link on top of it. So then people can just click it. So you have to double back and go twice, which is fine by me. Alrighty. I'm about to do this one. And we get to go. Party people.
Hey, party people, party people.
Live on Facebook. Yeah, we'll just do these two for now. Riverside has its own link. If people use it, cool. If not, whatever. All right. Okay. Period. I'm like, I wonder if I can. Oh, yeah, people, I can see the likes pop up. Cool. What is up, everyone? I was just sharing the link to this lovely live right now on all of our socials.
All of them.
So yeah, right now we are live on Facebook, my personal Facebook. We were talking about possibly getting a Facebook for the podcast. I didn't deem it as necessary. I don't know why. But yeah, so we're on my personal one. Whatever. Add me as a friend. But yeah, we're streaming right now from my personal Facebook, from our YouTube, which we obviously normally use. Um, we're not streaming on anything else. We have the option to do TikTok. It gets kind of wonky when we do it, so I'm like, might as well just do the major ones. And I feel like it's more simplified this way. But yeah, anyways, welcome, hi, hello, and actually welcome back, everyone who's watching. If you're joining in, hi, hello. This is the season 2 finale. Why? Hello. This is so exciting. When did we? I was trying to remember when we did season 1s. I can't remember the month we were in. I think it was like June. Because we tore through it pretty fast because we were doing weekly episodes at the time. So we got through it pretty quick. So it's been a bit, because
It
next
has.
month, if I'm not mistaken, will be our year of doing the podcast.
It
And
will.
that's wild. I think it was like May 20 something. So but yeah, so here we are finally on the end of season 2. We're very excited. Yes, 2 seasons, Jacob. We went through 2. Finally, we're so excited. And it's always so funny too, because I feel like this is where the show actually starts to pick up, you know.
Oh yeah.
um but yeah, I know we're both very excited to be here and get this going. And if I'm not mistaken, you and I did discuss going back to weekly episodes.
Yeah.
That's something we thought would be a great idea. We're like, let's just do every 2 weeks. And then I think our ADHD brains were like, no, I don't think that works for us.
No.
I think having the constant, hey, we have to do something,
What's better?
um, is better, is definitely better.
Same.
Um, so yeah, so I think we're gonna try and get back in the groove of weeklies, which I'm excited for. Again, we
Me
tear
too.
through more episodes that way too, and it went by quick. I was like, whoa, I feel like we really kind of like killed it there for a second. So yeah, I kind of want to get back to that also, now that our schedules are allotting us to do so. So
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. For sure.
but yeah, thank you guys for joining in. Hopefully more people join in. So but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So once again, we are each other's soulmate. We are a Sex in the City broadcast. We are 2 broads talking about our 4 favorite broads in New York City. So yeah, we're doing the finale of season 2, which is season 2 episode 18, titled X and the City.
Yeah, so with the introduction, this episode really focuses on, you know, exes and pondering what is appropriate behavior with an ex. And also like moving on from past loves, all of that sort of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. We have Carrie in this episode who decides to call up her ex and is just really obsessed with the idea of like how can I
Friends.
yeah, how can I be friends with my ex?
Yeah.
Um Miranda sees her ex and screams and runs away. So we have a couple different perspectives in that. And then we have Charlotte who she gets back on the saddle after being thrown off by an old love of hers from her childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And the iconic Samantha encounters the stallion.
I love this
I
episode.
know. I love him. He's so great. And with that, let's get started.
Yeah, let's
So,
get into
in
it.
this episode, we start the first scene with Carrie and Miranda on the street. They're buying flowers from a vendor, and all of a sudden, Carrie's about to pay for the flowers. Miranda sees Steve down the street. And, running into an ex is always an interesting experience, I'm sure, especially if you're not expecting it, but there's a lot of different ways you can take on that situation. But Miranda screams and runs away. She grabs Carrie by the arm and drags her down the street. It's really extremely dramatic, honestly.
It really is. But honestly, I feel like I've done way more dramatic things.
Whoops.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
uh, yeah, Yeah. Yeah, this is and it's kind of uncharacteristic for her a little bit, but, everybody
Yeah.
you never know how you're gonna act until you're in that situation, I guess. And, they were on their way to brunch, so they tell the other women about it, and they all kinda start talking about how, like, can you be friends with an ex? So
Mhm.
Miranda, first off, is straight up like, absolutely not. Cannot be friends with an ex. Samantha comes in and is like, I can't fathom having a friendship with a man. And she's like, why would I? And, she says, women are for friendships and men are for fucking. She's very cut
She's
and
not
dry with that.
wrong.
Oh, but then Charlotte says that she feels that friendship is the benefit of the relationship. And if they don't want the relationship, they don't get me as a friend. Hmm? Thoughts?
That's weird.
Yeah?
That's weird. Yeah, that's weird because the end goal, okay, like the end goal isn't per se friendship, right? Especially coming from Charlotte, who's like date to marry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
like, obviously, if it, this is the whole discussion of the episode, right? Can you be friends with the ex? I just think it's certain circumstances. I think if your boundary is like, no, never, no, never. I think if it can happen, it can, great. But like, I don't think there should be like an expectation if it doesn't work out, like, oh, we should just be friends, or we could be like, you don't have to, you don't got to do shit when you
Yeah.
that's the best part about breaking up. You don't got to do shit. You could be like,
You're
hey,
done.
later,
Bye.
loser,
Later. Yeah.
bye,
No,
never see
exactly.
or hear from you again.
And but Carrie comes back at Charlotte on this and is saying, so if you don't make it in a relationship, you withhold your friendship as punishment.
As if a guy's gonna be seriously disturbed over that.
I was gonna say it's just called moving on. Um, and even Charlotte's like, you make it sound so bad. Like it's not even that. I don't know. But yeah, no. Samantha comes in with the. She makes a funny comment saying that Black Widow spiders actually bite the head offs of their mate when they're done with them. So honestly, withholding friendship is letting them off easy. And honestly, that's true, like just I don't know. But yeah, and Miranda comes back with the whole like, I would love to be one of those people who is in that mindset of like, we loved, thank you, you enriched my life, now go and prosper. But
Yeah.
she's much more like, we didn't work out, you just need to not exist. And I don't know, personally, I am both of those things at the same time. You know, like
Yeah.
honestly, we loved,
Yeah.
great, have a great life, and just don't like you're over there and I'm over here and everything's great.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
yeah, right. But it just depends. You never know. But Carrie's just saying, oh, this is so childish. And her example is that she says that we keep dresses in our closets that we're never going to wear again, but we throw out our ex boyfriends. I'm not saying I'm any better, but I haven't been able to be friends with her ex, Mr. Big, and
Yeah.
honestly, it's like I don't know, it's like this weird expectation of it.
Yeah, it's
And
weird.
uh Carrie kind of poses this question: if you love somebody and you break up, where does the love go? Which, in and of itself, is an interesting question. Where
Right.
does that go? Um, but Samantha says, like, to their next girlfriend, that's where it goes.
It's not,
But
it's so weird because it's not recycled.
no, it's not. And I agree with that because in this part of the conversation, I kind of agree with Carrie because she's like, no, that's a different love. There's no way that the love that I had with him is the same thing he has with her. And I totally agree on that because I feel like the way that you're able to express yourself in a relationship is going to be different with everybody that you're in a relationship with. I
Yeah.
feel like the relationship that I have with my husband is like if God forbid he were to talk to one of my exes, like it would just be like I'm sure things would like honestly
I
overlap,
feel
but I'm
like
sure
that
a
would
lot of
be
things would be
a
also
great
different,
conversation. Like
you
there'd be
know?
nothing short of like nothing but praise for you.
I don't know about
Like
that.
honestly, that's how that conversation would go. It'd be like, "Oh, like she's amazing," right? Like that'd be that entire conversation.
It's just interesting, like to think the different perspectives. Because, like, maybe in one relationship you were more adventurous, you went on more hikes
Yeah.
or more this, more that. And then in another relationship, you went to the movies a lot, It's
Yeah.
it explores
Your
different parts of your
dynamic changes.
yes, the dynamics definitely are really different depending on who you're in that relationship with. So I feel Carrie on that part, but not much else. Uh, and honestly, it's yeah, but the when she's talking about this, she refers to the other woman as Natasha, which is her name. And Miranda makes a comment saying, "Oh, when did you stop calling her the idiot stick figure with no soul?"
Yeah, that's like so immature.
It really is.
But okay, that's immature. However, at my grown age, yeah, sometimes it slips. You know, sometimes
I don't know,
it's
but
natural. Sometimes it's natural to go through these things. You know.
yeah. And, you know, Carrie, she kind of softens up a little bit and she says that about 3 weeks before this, she was at Cafe M and she actually saw them at the cafe and they
Hmm.
were holding hands and smiling and they looked like they were in love. And she
Yeah.
says that, like, I finally got it. They're happy, slash, we're over. And,
Now you get it.
you know, it, honestly, it doesn't seem like she does, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, this girl is the girl. Natasha is just such a generally like not bad person. There's really nothing wrong with her. She's not doing anything wrong. That the worst thing that they have to like complain about her is her name. So they just start saying, "Yeah, Natasha. What a
Dude,
bullshit
that is
name."
such a I feel like that was a conversation either you and I had or something where it's like the fact that or I was talking to some I don't know, but if you have to pull something so minuscule to like talk shit about someone, that's how you can tell you're like, "Oh, you're the problem."
Yeah, because
Like if
literally,
it's
like, oh,
never if
Natasha,
you're
what a
not talking
bullshit
about your
name.
actions or like then you're like, all right, well, that's like if someone was like, oh my God, Bella's fucking tall with that big bitch, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
well, you're not
well,
wrong,
yeah, I am
like,
tall. Yeah.
yeah,
No, seriously, and it just kind of really shows that it shows the dynamic of Carrie
yeah.
with
But
Natasha.
however, it is a group of girls and it's a group of women talking about the new girlfriend. And that's why I'm like, I can't get mad at this conversation because we've all been there. Note these women are in their 30s and 40s. So obviously what we're learning from this episode is that women never change and nor will we ever grow up. So I'm sure we're going to be doing this well into our 40s.
Oh, I hope you and I are little chismosas until
We will
our
be
80s.
I unfortunately I will be talking shit until the day I die. Let's
I hope those are your last words.
And I'm not and I'm not over here being like, "Oh, I'm such a negative bitch." It's not anything like that.
No.
I'm just a mouthy bitch. Like I don't like I just have to say my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm like wishing ill intent. Sometimes I'm just like, "Okay." And then I'm done.
Yeah.
Then I'm done. The thought's
Yeah.
out. I can live.
Oh
So,
gosh. Oh,
yeah. It's just a
so
group of girlies at brunch. And they're at brunch or like they're at like
yeah. I think
brunch, lunch,
brunch.
like
Yeah.
breakfast. Because I know they're drinking. They are drinking, right at this point. No, 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 they're not yet.
I think they're like sharing a piece of pie or something in
Oh,
the
okay. Oh, you're right. It's dessert. It's dessert right now.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, granted, it is just them talking. It's not like they're like putting this shit on social media or something. But anyways, later that night, back at Carrie's apartment, she is working on her column, and she's thinking to herself, later that night I got to thinking about the X Factor. You remember that show?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was
Vividly.
like airing when this came out, so that's what
The
the
X
reference
Factor
is.
is like one of my favorite like YouTube. Okay, this is not helping the fucking negative bitch rumors. I love I love watching X Factor auditions that are bad.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, that is like my comfort. Back in the day, like I used to watch YouTube a lot. Like YouTube used to be my TikTok. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, as TikTok is for me now, it was YouTube. Um, and I was like, I mean, just dying at some of these auditions, dude. And it's like, I'm not like dogging on the talent. It's just the response of like the judges, the nature, like the comedic value of these auditions. You're like this. They're like these pretty producers are either like geniuses or these people are just bold. And I got to appreciate both ends.
Porque no los
You know,
dos, right?
exactly, and that's why I'm like I think what it is. I'm not a bitch. I love entertainment.
I want
That's what
that
I.
on a shirt. I love it. And I feel like that
It's true.
very honestly does fit.
Describe me.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah. I feel
I
like
swear to God, I'm not a bitch. I just love to be entertained. Court jester. People do the same thing to me.
oh my gosh. But okay, so Carrie's writing her Carrie's writing her column, and honestly, this next part just gets me. She says, in mathematics, we learned that X stands for the unknown. A plus B equals X. But what's really unknown is what plus what equals friendship with an X.
Carrie, don't start getting all
And
freaking
I feel like this is very,
algebraic.
well, no, I feel like this is very on brand for her. She found something to obsess over. And this
You
is
know
her
what?
current obsession. This is it. And that's why she like brings it up the way she does and puts Charlotte down for honestly just moving on with her life and like calls everybody childish for not wanting to be friends with their ex. Anyways,
The pick me rumors in this episode are wild.
yeah.
Wild.
And
I'm
it just gets
sorry.
worse. And it just gets worse.
It
Or
does. It
better,
does.
depending on how you're looking at it. Um And so Carrie says, is this an unsolvable equation, or is it possible to transform a once passionate love into something that fits nice and easily onto the friendship shelf? I couldn't help but wonder, can you be friends with an ex?
Yeah.
Ugh. So, next
So she
scene.
has to research it for her column.
So next scene, we have Miranda sitting alone in her apartment, honestly being a boss ass bitch. This lady is
She's
a
eating
lawyer
biscotti.
in New York City in the freaking apartment she bought, and she's eating a biscotti and reading the newspaper.
Pause.
Amen.
The only weird behavior is how she's eating this biscotti.
I think
Dry
that's the
as the fucking Sahara.
Oh
You're
yeah,
not
she wasn't.
dipping the biscotti in a beverage?
That's true. Okay, I
Gross.
take it back. She's a
Gross.
freak. She's a freak.
Yeah, that's freak
Okay,
behavior. You got to dip that hoe. That thing is
dip that
harder than
hoe.
a.
I want that in a t-shirt too.
I don't know how censored I have to be on lives. Will they will they strike
Oh, I
my
forgot about
lives?
that.
I don't. Alexander is asking, "What is biscotti?" Would you like to answer?
I feel like biscotti is something that I feel like you would have a better time explaining. I don't eat it as much as you do.
Okay, hold on. Nothing. So, biscotti is an Italian snack dessert, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that. It's not. Like,
It's
I've had it, like, once or twice. It's not super sweet, and it's very, like, brittle
you've
and
only had it
hard.
once or twice?
Yeah, I've never really had it. That's
Okay.
why I was like, I feel like you
Let
would be
me
better at
Okay.
explaining.
It is similar to like the texture of like one of those like crunchy granola bars, but it's like a long piece of bread that's been
Yeah,
crisp.
like that. I've seen them before. They're, like, that big, and they're pretty yummy, like, from what I remember, but
Yeah. What is biscotti?
um,
That's like the funniest question I've ever seen on anything ever.
I love him.
I know, I love it. I love it. Like those are those TikTok comments where you see that and I'm like, I can't, that's the funniest thing I've seen in 3 years.
But, yeah, she's eating this dry-ass biscotti, this Italian, pastry dessert bread thing, and she gets a knock at the door, and lo and behold, it is her ex that she ran away from on the street. It's
Oh, it's
Steve.
Steve. Oh, we
It's
didn't disclose that
Steve.
it was Steve in the beginning.
I don't think I did. My bad, y'all.
Oops. Well, to be fair, that's like her only like actual boyfriend, except for
Yeah,
Skipper.
poor Skipper.
Whatever. He doesn't count. I don't
Rip,
count him.
rip Skipper.
Rip
Um,
Skipper.
and yeah, he knocks on the door, and she tries to like pretend that she's not there, but
I
she.
can't hear you. Did you
Hello?
mute?
Did I? Oh no.
Girl,
Is that better?
I can't hear you. Oh, there you are. Hey, hey.
Hey.
You came in.
Okay.
Did you mute?
No.
Weird.
Must have been a ghost.
Must have been the
Um
ghost. These mics are pretty temperamental. We have
yeah,
there's
I'm
a
leaning
touch
back,
mute
but
button on the back. And so literally any little like grays or something will mute the mic. So that's always very fun for us to deal with. I love
yeah.
these mics though. I feel like they do work. So
Oh yeah, they're pink.
they are pink. Careful with that.
Okay, my bad.
I'm all like,
Um, so, oh yeah, so Steve is at her freaking door, and she literally even tries to pretend that she's not there, and he's like, "I can hear you breathing," like a little creep, and he confronts her. Like she opens the door, and he confronts her about how shitty it was for her to run away on the street. And like she tries
yeah.
to deny it at first, but you know, you can't really deny that. And he straight up tells her like you hurt my feelings, which good for you. I wish more people would like tell people when their feelings are hurt. It, you
I
know.
don't. Hold
No,
it.
hold it. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Enjoy the emotional constipation.
Yeah, deal with it. Take some SSRIs, snort them if you have to. This life isn't free. Deal with it.
Deal with it. And
Just
yeah,
kidding.
he like yeah, she's just like, I don't do well with ex-boyfriends. Like, I don't know what you want from me. And he's just like, it's me, Steve.
It's Steve. What did he say? He said,
I held
I
your
held
head
you,
while you slept.
I held your head while you slept. If that mattered, honestly, I don't know. I guess like because I don't know the dynamics of their relationship. What if he wasn't very affectionate beforehand? You know, and he was like, oh, what if Miranda is actually not very affectionate to begin
No.
with. So it actually is probably a huge milestone for her.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, at multiple
Mama.
points in the show, she's like actively not wanting physical
I
affection.
love it.
But no, like when he says that, she just loses it and she starts crying and apologizing profusely. And he assures her it's fine and he gives her a tissue and she just blurts it out. She's like, I miss you. And we realize, like, wow, she's actually been missing this guy. And
It's just feelings.
yeah. And I I really like this line because I feel like it actually really encompasses a feeling really well. But she says, "Whenever something funny happens, I always want to tell you."
Oh, that's a big one.
That's
That's a big one.
yeah, that means something. And I heard her when she said that. And
Because you
Steve,
think of like the inside jokes, like the things like
yeah,
you know, the day to day that you're like, oh, you're like, oh, I heard this, and like, oh, I couldn't wait to tell you, and then you get to tell that person at the end of the day or whatever, blah blah blah. Those are just like
Yeah.
small intimate moments as couples that you cherish in those kind of conversations. And then when those
Exactly.
just kind of come to an abrupt halt, like you're like, oh, who the fuck do I tell this to?
Yeah, like
You
they're not
know?
gonna get it the same way, and so you can't
Yeah.
enjoy it as much because like there's so much shit that like I tell you that like I'll try to tell my husband, but then I tell him,
He's
he's like,
like,
oh, okay,
he
like
said, what is, he's like, what is biscotti?
yeah. and
Exactly.
and then it's like I had to tell you, or vice versa. Like I'm telling you something, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's cool. And then I tell him, he's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it it matters who you tell. Like I feel like the
Yeah,
reaction is
for
part of
sure.
it. But they start talking and they kind of come to this agreement like, just because they're not dating anymore, they're not a couple anymore, doesn't mean they can't have a friendly meal once in a while.
Yeah.
And so he's like, what are you doing on Friday? She's like, I have a date.
You have a date.
He's like, looking forward to it, are you? Which
Oh God.
I love that
Oh,
line.
Steve.
Oh, Steve. And next up, we have Charlotte, who's out on a run in Central Park. What a great day. That sounds like a great day. And she says, or she like, I am Steve. uh, she sees a horse and it reminds her of a horse that she had as a kid. So we find out that Charlotte was an equestrian and she did that as a when she was growing up, and one of the competitions that she was in, the horse actually threw her, so she flew off the horse and broke her collarbone in the middle of a competition, which honestly sounds traumatic. And her father got rid of the horse and she hadn't been on a horse ever since. So it'd probably been like what, 15 or so years since she'd been on a horse.
Yeah.
And she just like stares at this horse and she's just like wondering internally, am I ready to get back on the saddle?
Yeah.
You know? And speaking of saddle,
Oh,
we have
that is a great segue. That's a great segue.
we have Samantha meeting the stallion on a New York street. So Samantha's out shopping, and honestly, one of her most iconic looks, in my opinion. She's got this like beautiful strappy red dress on with a little zebra
Oh
print
yeah.
purse, like a little baguette,
Yep.
and she just looks amazing. And as she's walking, she runs into she passes by this guy, and they just lock eyes and their heads turn as they're walking by each other.
I love a
Very
good cinematic, like passionate.
It's so good. Honestly, love the
Mm.
scene. And she flirts like you do, honestly. And
She
it's really
really
funny to
does.
see it in on the
And I
screen.
promise it's not something that I picked up like knowingly from watching the show. It's not like I was like I watched the show when I was young and I was like that's what I want to do. No, it's like I naturally behave that way. I
She
am a
really
Samantha.
does.
But no, I said this the other day. I was like I think I genuinely just like this scene, this this like little what's it called, like
Meet
bit
cute.
with them, yeah, or just know the whole thing with them, because I'm like, oh, that's
Oh, the
how,
whole yeah.
yeah, that's exactly how I interact, like, and flirt, because of what she does here. I'm like, if you want me to run this real
Yeah,
quick.
you go ahead.
So I love this. I'm like, that's a fucking
Like
pro step in. But so they like meet, their eyes meet, they look, and then keep walking. Samantha stops on purpose but not really at a like a
it
department
was
store
no,
window.
it was Prada.
I'm sorry, excuse me, it's Prada.
Yeah,
It's not just a bag, it's
it's
Prada.
Prada.
10 points if you know where that's from, chat. What movie's that from? All right. I'm all snap snap. So she's there in the window and she's just like pretending to window shop, I guess. And he comes up to her and he's all like, "Oh, what does he say?" He says something like, "Do I know you?" Or no, that's what she says.
Yeah.
But anyway, like they're talking. I'm like, let me pull up the damn script. Did you write the dialogue or no?
Not all of it.
Oh, that's all right. But
But
anyway, I'm like, pretty much, she's just like, "Oh, well, like, who are you?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, see, now I need the words. Anyway, it was very cute. It was very cute and it was very sexy and very subtle. Way to go,
yeah,
Jacob.
because
He has minus.
he goes up to her and starts talking, and she's just like, "Excuse me, do I know you?" And
Yeah,
he's
that's what she
like,
says.
"No, not yet."
Oh, and then she's like, "Oh, you're cocky." Here we go. And then she's like, "Oh, you're cocky." He's like, "So that's what they tell me." Blah blah blah. And this is a bit
No.
of foreshadowing.
She asks him where he
Oh,
learned to be so cocky, and he
that's what it
says,
was.
"I guess I was just born that way."
Which is foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Um,
And
but what I love. Oh, go ahead.
I love his flirtation style. He's very
Yes.
forward while letting her take the lead. And
Yes.
honestly, so like hot.
This
Love
is
it.
why I like it, because that's exactly how I intend flirting to be. Because if you guys have listened to the podcast or even want to hear me yap and yammer about this shit, I don't like making the first move. I'd rather die. So that's how you know it's real. So, but I will do things to hint that I would like to be hit on by you.
Hint.
And it's sometimes maybe too subtle. That my fault. Some men like directness. Sorry. Unless I'm like drunk, then yeah, but at that point flirting is just gross. I'm just not I'm not I smell like tequila. My hair's fucked up. Two of my lashes are missing. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. But anyway, when it does work, perfect. And it did work. It did work. There in the comments might tell you it did work, because I did do a very subtle thing when I saw him, because I didn't say anything, but he came up to me essentially. But I did a little makeup touch in the mirror next to him, and I was like, okay. And that was my. I don't know if he noticed that. I don't know if that was his like key to go, but I did that definitely on purpose for him to say something, and it worked. So, but yeah,
Dude, I love that.
had, had my own little meet cute finally. Jeez, took all but 28 years.
Nah, yeah, that was you had a good meet cute with him.
I
I
did.
liked
I
hearing about
did.
that one. Where are we? Uh oh,
Where are we?
okay. What I was gonna. Oh wait, I did say that. I was just gonna say like I just love his flirtation style, and I think he's great. He tries to get her number, but she's just like being
I
coy
don't
and
know
like
yet.
uh-uh.
Yeah.
And so he gives her his phone number and lets her take charge. Oh.
Dork. I want to go on the record by saying that's not what happened. He said all I said was hey with the drink and she punched me. That's kind of true. I punched him with my
With your
stare,
wit. Oh.
with my with my yeah. I punched him with my like I punched myself up too much is what I did. I was like, oh, I do comedy and I have a podcast, and now he's stuck with this.
See, stuck with and gets to be with, you know.
I have self-esteem issues. This is not new
Bitch,
information
I'm
for
your
the people
friend. Okay,
watching.
it's my job to like cut in on that shit. Anyways, Carrie at her apartment. She is going
Talk
through
about
her
self-esteem
freaking.
issues.
I know. Like that's why I'm here for you. So neither, and you're here for me, so we don't end up like this. So Carrie's in her closet going through her stuff, and she finds this dress from 1988, and she like holds it up and just like drops it, and this is the sign that she took from the universe to call her ex. That was the thing. Because like she said, she keeps dresses she'll never wear again, but she can't be friends with her ex.
It's
Like
just
cuz
so
the
bizarre.
two things are the exact same thing. Um and guess who picks up the phone?
The idiot stick figure with no soul.
Natasha picks up the phone. So she calls me. Mind you, this is what, like 99, 2000 ish.
Yeah.
Um, she called his house, and caller ID is just becoming a thing. So she immediately hangs up, and right afterwards, like, realizes, like, oh shit, he has caller ID. Like, it was a second thought for her. And so she picks up the phone again and calls him back. I don't know what she was planning on, but this time Mr. Big picks up the phone, and she starts talking to him, and she's just tripping over her words and acting really weird. And he even asks her, like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I am A-okay." And he's like, "'Cause you
She
honestly
was in
sound a
fact
little."
not
No,
a-okay.
he's like,
No,
"You sound nuts."
she sounds like a psychopath. Like that
Yeah,
I
she
don't
really
know. It's just
does.
but it is so bizarre. It is so bizarre to just like want to intercede in this man's life now. Like
Yeah,
she didn't talk to Big for months
5 months.
while he was in Paris. Like not once. They didn't she didn't even know he had a whole ass relationship and she didn't even talk to the man. And now that he's like with this chick, she's like, I want to be friends again.
No,
That
really?
that is pick me
And
behavior.
no, dude, because like she asks for grace when he's like, "You're a little nuts." She's like, "Oh, come on, like take it easy on me." It's she says like it's just hard because it's the first call. I'm like, "The first? That's presumptuous." Okay. It's the first call after breaking up. This is the first time that they've talked to each other on the phone, because they used to talk on the phone all the time.
That's
And
crazy
I
talk.
know, I know. And she says that maybe it would be better if I went with my prepared speech. So not only did she do all of this, she sat down on a notepad and wrote it out beforehand, and told him about it. And the thing that she had written down on the notepad was, "I was wondering what you thought of not pretending the other one doesn't exist, and maybe we could try to be friends or something." My brain caught on to the "or something" part immediately. She didn't say, "Let's be friends. Can we try to be friends?" She said, "Can we try to be friends or something?"
That's foreshadowing in the making, guys. Ugh.
And
Note that in your
okay,
brains.
I just want to take a moment on just this little part right then and there. And, let's say you were engaged.
Me?
Yeah. Let's say you
Hold
were
on, let
engaged.
me think about it.
And let anyone, right? Let's say you were engaged, everyone who's listening, and you find out that your partner's ex partner is calling them like this. Like, that's insane. Like, I would be
Yeah.
livid. Like, that's just it's inappropriate, and I think she can tell that it's inappropriate, because if it wasn't, she would have been like, "Oh, hey, Natasha, can I talk to Big?" But she wasn't. She hung up the freaking phone.
Yeah. But
She
she also
knows
has no
mm,
she has no decorum. She has no the thing you know what's funny is like the more I watch this or the more I watch this, the more we divulge about all this stuff, I realize her social skills are absolute dog shit.
granted, she's a writer. That's, like, part of the whole, like, aesthetic of being a
Technically,
writer, right?
technically, I'm a writer and I can hold a conversation. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Okay, well, I'm not,
No,
but you know what I mean.
I hear what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying,
You can
and
be a creative and still be able to like have a decent conversation with someone. You know what's
you would
funny? Like
think.
I don't think I've ever seen her been like, "Hi, I'm Carrie Bradshaw. Nice to meet you."
I think she did. Oh god, I can't think of a moment either. Oh
When has
my
she ever had a
god.
normal interaction with another adult? Like, we should do a drinking game of how many times Carrie's not normal during during the entire series. Or
Honestly,
we can play a drinking game of how many times she is normal and we would be sober.
see, that's not fun.
I know. But it's either way. I mean,
Ugh, but this is just so cringe. But yeah, no, but I guess it works, because he says, "I'd like that." and
Of course
he
he would. Of course he wants extra attention.
that's what I think it is. But he says, I'd like that. And he's like, I'd been meaning to call you. And you know what? I'm just going to say this too. That's what he said in the last episode when they ran into each other
Yeah.
at the hoedown. He said,
Yep.
I've been meaning to call you. Meaning to call. If he wanted to, he would. But she interrupts him when he says that and asks him out to lunch. And he agrees.
Hold on. This is the best comment I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
You know,
10 out of 10. This level of introspection, like of what's it called? Not introspection. Observation, immaculate. Chef's kiss.
honestly, maybe,
But
maybe, but I truly feel like she's more of a narcissist than anything.
yeah, I can see that too. We've talked about that. So, um but you know what's weird is like she's not narcissistic in the relationship with Big. She's more BPD-esque.
Oh, true.
Remember, she's more
But,
anxious. But
honestly,
when
though,
she
like, sorry, go ahead.
no, it's just Jacob saying she might be.
I mean, I honestly, maybe, you know, uh, I don't know. I don't know enough about the spectrum to put her anywhere on there, but, um, yeah, honestly, she might be with those social skills. But,
I just
yeah,
think she's a cunt.
I kind of do too.
Like sometimes she's just a like selfish bitch sometimes. Like she's just one of those girls. She's one of those girls I would never hang out with.
Yeah.
Like after a couple times I'd be like, "Oh, she's fun. Oh, this is great. Oh, we're getting to really good parties." And then you're like, "This bitch sucks." Like
Yeah. Like the friend that you go to parties with, but like when you actually get to know them, like you hang out with them in the daylight, you're like,
but you know what's
ooh,
funny is like she's not even that much of a party girl, so it's like it's not even that. You
really?
know. She doesn't party the way I partied. I'm talking like when I think party, I'm like we're going to like good parties. We're doing good drugs. She's like snobbish with all that too.
Huh.
She only ever gets like blackout drunk like once. She's not an icon.
No. But
She's
I feel
not an
like she goes
icon. What
to
the fuck am I saying?
I mean, I'll have to think about that one. But yeah, no, the lunch happens and honestly, it starts off really rough. So they meet up at lunch. They have the reservation and everything. It's planned ahead of time, and they're both really nervous and unsure of how to act, and Mr. Big is like specifically nervous about everything going on, and he keeps like repeating himself by accident. He even tells her, "I've been up since 6 a.m. I worked out. I've barely eaten today." And this does not seem like the actions of a
so
relaxed man.
note we're coming into this lunch thinking that or meeting him like this thinking he's just nervous about the lunch. He's just
Yeah,
nervous about the interaction, but
because
let's
he's
keep the
nervous about being friends
conversation.
with her, you know?
Yeah, or just seeing her because it's just let's be real, it is nerve-wracking, a little nerve-wracking seeing that person again after some
Yeah.
time. It is you do get a little nervous. So that's what we think this is. Let's dive into the conversation a little bit more.
And she honestly gets a little bit of pleasure out of this. She says that the
But
friend part of me was like, felt bad for him, but the ex girlfriend part of me was secretly happy. And honestly, you're not his friend, so you just seem secretly happy. Um, but
yeah, she got off on some weird validation of it, but
yeah,
like
she really
as the
did.
conversation keeps
Yeah.
going.
And at first they order some tea and water, but then they like look at each other again. They're like, "No, give me the alcohol." He gets a scotch,
Yeah,
she gets a
fuck
Cosmo,
that.
and they start drinking. And they actually start to like get along for a while and they start
Yeah,
teasing each
they're
other. And
chumming
she's
it
like
up.
literally like, what is it? Like I don't want to listen to your music anymore. Like blood, sweat, and tears. She's like hating on it.
Yeah,
And
he's like, that's a great album. She's like, not 10 minutes after we wake up. Bleh. And I was like, you have a
honestly,
man of culture.
yeah, and she don't
Like,
like
sorry, he doesn't roll over and like
like
say mean things about you. I don't know. You know, like, what, is that what you want? Obviously, that's what you think you deserve.
uh, but she they're playfully bantering. It's in good fun. They're teasing each other. And then Carrie starts like going ding 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 on her glass and is like, "Okay, let's talk about her. Like, I want to hear about your girlfriend now." And she
It's
asks, "I
fucked
want to
up.
let me hear about the girl." That's all she says, even though she knows her
Yeah.
name. And he's just like, "Really?" And she encourages him to talk about her, and he's just like, well, she's really sweet. And as soon as he says that, she cuts him off. She like doesn't want to hear it, and immediately, and she's like, actually, let's not talk about who we're dating until like to each other until it's serious.
That's her fishing.
Yeah.
That was immediately her fishing for what is this? Let's be real. Is
Yeah.
this going to last? Like, she was fishing. She was
Yeah.
wanting to see what it was like. She was wanting to see where she stood. This is
Yeah.
all that was. Like, this that's the saddest part about all this is she didn't genuinely care. She could
No,
care less who this bitch is.
he
Like,
really
or how he
didn't.
is. And you know what's funny in this conversation? Have we ever heard her say like she's not like, "Oh, well, I'm glad you're happy."
No.
Like,
Yeah, that doesn't happen at any point, I
mm-mm.
don't think. Oh, well, maybe, but yeah, no, she threw that down and he goes cold and his face drops and he says, "Carrie, it is serious. We're engaged. I wanted you to hear it from me. They're engaged. He's only known her for like 5 months."
Hey, let's be real. Time don't mean shit sometimes. However, it's it's circumstantial, and this is that common thing too. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's like you can have feelings for someone within 5 months or whatever, however long, and like, or been with someone for 3 years and like not felt the same, or like there's that, like, duration essentially doesn't mean anything. So I don't really like get that argument, you know?
I uh, I feel like the amount of time that you spend with somebody before you like drop the gauntlet on that helps. Like more time helps because you really get a more well-rounded view of a person through their stages. You know what I mean? And if you can like
I
ride the
think so
waves of
too.
life stages together, then make the big commitment.
However,
But
I
that's
just
just
think
me.
if it works, it works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it works for you, it works for you. Some people meet and they're like, I know, especially men. Men know quick. We are literally, our whole last live was like us asking the viewers who were predominantly male, being like, hey, how did you know that you were into this person? How did you know you were in love with this person? Blah, 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 blah. And they're all like, oh, fast. They're like, like quick. And I was like, see, it's like, but that it's like it's male driven in these circumstances when it comes to commitment.
No,
And like I think that's, yeah.
I'm not doubting the
But
feeling
I
of
think that's why the validity works for it, because it's male driven. If a female I feel like female driven relationships don't work if a female wants it more.
I do agree on that part.
See, Lex said 2 weeks. Lex, cut it out. Just kidding.
It
I
took
don't
a yeah.
I'm gonna cry my makeup off right now.
Yeah, he said I love you 2 weeks into dating and it was very clearly an
And you
accident.
guys are married now. See? See? You're over here talking about duration, girl.
Bitch, we knew each other for like 5, 10 years beforehand.
Not at
He
the
didn't just like
level.
walk into my life
No,
and 2 weeks
but
later was I love
but it
you.
it wasn't the level. You guys didn't know each other for 5-10 years at that level yet. At that
That's true.
level of getting to know each other, it hadn't been that long.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. It will be knowing someone 10 years ago because you guys frequented each other in the same spot is not the same as getting to know each other intimately, being with each other, blah, 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 blah. Like completely different. So that's when you open up to each other as partners, completely different. So,
Very
but
true.
yeah, C point proven within you guys. That's all I'm saying. My theory is correct.
But I wasn't talking about the feeling of like wanting to marry somebody. I was talking about actually marrying them because we didn't actually get married until like 3 years in. And
Yeah,
that's
but
what
the
I mean about
sentiment
the,
was already there. The commitment was already there. That's what I'm saying. When they know, and it'll happen. And the action will be known.
yeah,
Which so which is what Big is doing.
yeah, that is
Because
what he did.
if he knew that, like that's the whole fucking part about this is that like if he felt that way about Carrie and saw a future with her, he would have done the same fucking shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that he didn't want that with her,
Yeah. But
which is what
yeah,
we talk about the rest of the episode.
yeah, cuz she like dude, she like throws her head in her hands on the table and is like I suddenly have a splitting headache. And
As would I.
yeah. And then she like looks up at him and is like, engaged? How can you be engaged? You have a problem with commitment, remember? In fact, you told me you never wanted to get married again, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And all he says back was, things change. Ouch.
Which is true. Which is true.
I know,
You can
but
your
it the
things
next thing
change with
he
people.
says, he said, she says, meaning what? It's that you didn't want to marry me. And he just says, look, Natasha and I really wish we could have heard what he was about to say, TBH. But
Yeah,
yeah, she cuts him off and he's
of
like,
course
don't
she
you
does.
dare say her name to me. You string me along for 2 years and then you marry some 25-year-old girl after 5 months. And dude, at this point, she's causing a scene. She is standing up. She is yelling at him in front of everybody. Like, and she excuses herself, and in the
And this is
process,
why he never proposed to her.
yeah, in the
Because Natasha
process,
would never.
no, in the process of leaving, she grabs her purse violently off the chair, knocking it onto the ground. And this is a nice restaurant. That chair was heavy. Like it was a hard fall. And she leaves eventually, and he chases her out of the restaurant and is like, don't end it like this. And she says, no,
Yeah.
you ended it like this. Go have a nice life. And honestly, she just has the most dramatic exit of her life.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah. But, to be fair, she is right. He did end it, but she also didn't have to revive it. He kept meaning to call her. He probably was never going to call her, and they probably would have never spoken again had she not injected herself back into his life.
Yeah.
But, anyways, next scene, we have Charlotte and Carrie at the horse stables. So, Carrie mentions that like previously her and Charlotte had already discussed that Carrie was going to go with Charlotte to the horse stables. So Charlotte, after seeing that horse, made an appointment at these horse stables that are in New York, and Carrie was supposed to hold her hand while she was getting ready to go onto the horse.
Mm-hmm.
And in true Carrie fashion, it suddenly became about Carrie and everything that happened. Now, while at this event that Charlotte needed emotional support on, she is emotionally supporting Carrie in this. Granted,
Yeah.
it's an emergency, like that shit would hurt
Yeah.
anybody's feelings.
It trumps. I feel
Yeah.
like that trumps.
And, the entire time they're waiting for the horse, Carrie's just, complaining about what happened to her and, while she's doing that, there's a horse that kind of has like a very like sharp reaction, and Carrie's like, "What the fuck is his problem?"
To
And
be fair, this is how I know Carrie's an asshole. She's just smoking around the horses.
yeah, she's smoking a cigarette in the horse
She's smoking
stable.
a cigarette, like right in front of the fucking horses.
And, Charlotte says that nothing's wrong with the horse. It just has a stubborn streak. And after a while, a lot of horses like they enjoy being ridden. Like they enjoy it once they get trained. And Carrie makes a comment saying how she broke in big, and now the idiot stick figure with no soul gets to ride him.
She giving
That
herself too much
she
credit.
really is,
She's giving
honestly.
herself so much. This man has already been married
Mhm.
before.
He has.
He's successful on his own.
Mhm.
He doesn't need her in the slightest, and
No.
she's over here taking all this credit. I will give people or partners credit when when their partner has nothing and they've helped them develop something or help them like acquire whatever, be better as a person. It's one thing to be like, I was there for the brunt. I took a lot of that brunt. Now the next person gets it. That happens. It's natural, whatever. But this bitch is over here adding like she fucking was like Gandhi in his life. And I'm like,
That
you
she
threw
provided
a Big
improvements.
Mac at him and whined all the time.
She
That's
did throw a Big Mac at him.
that's all you did. All you ever did was cry and complain and scream.
Oh, but let's not forget that every time she needed to have a mature adult conversation, she got wasted and showed up unannounced at his place.
To be fair, I do a
Are
lot of
you gonna defend
crying.
that?
Yes. I do a lot of crying and whining myself sometimes, but it's more for comedic value.
Okay. So, yeah, no. So she's saying that she broke him big, and the idiot stick figure with no soul gets to ride him. She gets all the benefits of her hard work, But anyways, the horse's name is Pal, and he finally comes
Pal.
out. His name is Pal, and Charlotte mentions that he even looks like the horse that she had, whose name was Taddy. And
Patty.
Charlotte, she as they're bringing the horse up, she tells Carrie, "You can leave as soon as I'm on the horse." But as soon as she steps onto the horse, like she puts one foot on, she panics. She's like, "Absolutely not. I can't do this. I need to leave." And for the second time in this episode, Carrie's grabbed by the hand and dragged out of a situation while a man is like screaming in her direction. This happens twice in this episode. And we have the next scene where we have Samantha and the stallion. So
Oh, we're
Samantha
back
and the
to the
stallion.
stallion.
Yeah. So, after a few get to know you phone calls, they finally go on a date, and we're meeting them after that first date or whatever date. And they are at Samantha's apartment, and they're in her bedroom, and right before he takes his pants off, he warns Samantha. He stops and he's like, "I need to warn you about something." And oh my god, is that not like the worst thing you can hear from somebody right before you're about to have sex? You know?
I don't know. I
And
feel like I have like earmuffs if I really want it.
but
It is
his
always honesty hour on each other's soulmates, everyone.
it truly is. um but he warns Samantha that he is very well endowed. And I'm here like, oh yeah, we've all heard that one. Like,
You want to know something funny? I don't know if this is inappropriate. So I was listening to the show on the way home to like refresh it in my head again. And it was at that point where he goes, "I just want to let you know I'm very well endowed. Jacob called me."
like he was
Right after he
summoned.
said that. He was summoned.
Oh my god. Um, and she's happy about it. She's like, ding, 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 jackpot.
No shit,
And
it's Samantha.
yeah, right? Like this dude you're about to have sex with is like, I am well endowed. You're like, oh yeah, yeah, here we go.
You know what's funny is like typically like when men say stuff like that, like you're like, no, you're not.
That's what
It's
I'm
always,
saying.
oh,
Yeah.
this is a tip. This is a tip for, I don't know unless men have gotten the whole, like,
Is that a
they've
pun?
caught on to this. No, 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 no. So I have always noticed when men violently, not violently, that's a weird word, like really try and exaggerate, like, oh, I'm small. Oh, I have nothing down there. Like before you have sex, they're like, oh, there's nothing. Don't even, yeah, it's, you're going to have a great time. You're going to be thoroughly surprised. You're going to be so happy. It's always those guys. It's always the ones who are like, oh, no, there's nothing. Like, meh. And I'm like, I don't know if they know what they're doing. Like, if that's a trick that I'm getting, am I getting manipulated or this is just like my actual experience in life, but or both. Uh, but yeah, no, that's how you know you have a winner. That's how you
Okay.
know. At
And
least in my experience.
in this case, dude, he drops his pants and she just looks scared. That thing
Which
was
is what we've never seen Samantha look scared during
no,
sex
no,
or around it.
and it, yeah, she just kind of was like, oh shit.
What I
Like,
imagine is like a forearm. I think I imagine like a forearm.
I imagine something that's like 13 inches long or some
Like
shit
my
like that.
forearm is like, that's exactly how I imagine this is my forearm, like just the forearm.
Oh, goodness. You know, Broad City has an episode that is based off of this episode, I'm pretty sure. And
I need to watch that.
you really do. But on about Sex in the City, next day, Samantha tells Carrie about the encounter, and tells Carrie, "I'm gonna try again." And Carrie's like, "Dude, why?" And she tells her, "Because it's there. Like, come on, dude. Like, I found this. Like, I'm gonna do it." And Carrie's just like, "Dude, it's a penis, not Mount Everest."
I found the eighth wonder of the world. Like, what do you mean?
And Samantha says that if it, I'm dead. Y'all need to get out of here. Um,
You'll need to get. Who are you talking to? Oh, god damn it.
um, and she says that if his penis was Mount Everest, that she only got to base camp one last night, which I wonder what that means. And
it's left. It's I'm over here using my forearm. Like so, when you
oh,
climb a
like he only was able
mountain.
to get in so much. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I thought I meant moral. My bad. Um,
Hey.
hey. Speaking of horses, right? And yeah, Carrie's just or Samantha's like, Carrie, you dated Mr. Big. I'm dating Mr. Too Big. And Carrie's just
Clever.
like, geez, dude, James was too small. This guy is too big. What are
What
you,
are you, Goldie
Goldie
Cox?
Cox? And
I love that. I love that line. I love that line
that's a
so
good one.
much. Where are you, Goldie
And
Cox?
she's like, yep, I'm looking for one that's just right.
Aren't we all like? Aren't we all? Because like, I
Oh
just
no,
feel
I
like,
found mine.
yeah, 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 yeah. But like, I feel like that's always the goal because you don't want anything that's like, okay, don't put me in a fucking hospital every night. But then also,
I don't know. That is some people's vibe. Good for them. But
I like my pelvic floor. I don't. I would. I
what's left of
would.
it?
What closest you have ever come to calling anyone a slut ever in your entire life?
Really? Is that?
Yes.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. That is
No,
not what I
it's
meant.
that's
Okay.
it. It's fine. That is the best thing I've ever heard you fucking say. I'm so proud. I am
Oh my
so proud.
god.
That is the funniest thing I've ever heard you say. Fuck the Bechtel test, dude. Fuck it.
Oh my god.
That passes. That passes. See your stupid Bechtel test. That makes me so happy, dude.
It's not my test.
I know, but it's just funny.
Oh my god. But okay, next scene we have Miranda and Steve.
We're just gonna move on from that statement. What were you implying? Wait.
What?
What were you implying? You're like, oh, I didn't mean it that way. What'd you
Oh,
mean it
I
as?
heard you say like that you don't have one before.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was
I was
referring
like,
to. That's
damn.
why I said what's left of it because you said that you don't have one before. So I didn't mean anything bad by it. I'm so sorry.
No, that came off. Oh, dude, that was amazing. That was immaculate. Like,
Oh
if
my
you were trying to legitimately insult someone, I would have been so proud.
god.
Like, that
I'm only clever by
chef's
accident.
kiss. You really are in the most endearing way. Like, I'm just like, oh my god, like what a hitter, dude.
I know,
Like
and I'm
that.
just like, what?
Like the fact that you didn't hear how that came off was amazing.
No, I didn't. I'm so
Ugh,
sorry.
I can't get over that. That was amazing, dude. That was the best roast of the century. Anyway, what's left of me and my pelvic floor is going to continue on with the rest.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm crying. I'm crying off all my
Um,
makeup.
uh, so Miranda and Steve at their apartment. Um, it was Friday night. I guess she blew the other guy off, and they obviously had a great dinner and were being super flirtatious. And they're in her bedroom because he was asking for his T-shirt back. You know how like sometimes when you're in a relationship, you get some of your
Cardinal
clothes.
sin. I still have some. I still have some. Like it's if it's the quality. I don't give a shit whose shirt it was. If I put a shirt on my body that is comfortable that I can sleep in, you bet your ass it is mine. I don't give a fuck whose
I
it was. I don't even remember the sentiment. What I know is I will snore if I wear that shirt.
I
And that's what
feel
I
that.
need.
I had an ex steal one of my shirts one time, and I was pissed about it because it was
Blasphemy.
my Jurassic Park T-shirt that I got on a trip to
Oh,
Universal Studios when I was a kid with my family. I was so
dude. I'm
pissed.
gonna go get it back.
Do it.
No,
Um,
you know what? I just realized too. My ex has a couple of things in my, and that asshole would always steal my socks all the time. I was like, dude, and I never really wear socks. I love open toe shoes, but like I'd have to wear like closed toe shoes for work and stuff. So I'd always wear crazy socks when I was like a floor nurse. Like those were my favorite things. I wear Crocs and like fun socks, like and because I'd wear all black scrubs. So I'd love doing that. And he always stole my fucking dope ass socks, like all my cool socks. I have Tokyo Ghoul socks, and this like maniacal maniac only took one. I have one. I have one
oh,
in my
that was
possession.
premeditated.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
fucking gnome.
yeah.
I'm so, I'm so mad that I can't wear my Tokyo Ghoul socks.
That's abuse.
Ugh,
I feel
abuse.
you. I had an ex steal a set of my glasses. Because
What?
yeah, they said that our prescription was so similar. They just started wearing them and never gave them back. I was like, okay, okay.
It's funny.
But yes, but in Steve's case, it is a fireman T-shirt, and they playfully fight back and forth for it, and she doesn't actually give it back, but he tells her to. But he says thank you for dinner, and she says thanks for letting me pay finally, which I feel like is a really interesting nod to the first relationship because if you remember
Yeah.
the first time they broke up, it was because he couldn't afford a suit that she offered to buy him.
Fuck the suit.
Yeah. And now he's actually like willing to let her pay for dinner. It's improvement for him in their relationship and his security with the difference in finance that they have. And he's like about to leave and he gives her a kiss on the cheek to say goodbye, and he's like, I have a question for you. Do friends kiss here? And he kisses her shoulder, and she doesn't say anything. And then he asks, do friends kiss here? And he kisses her on the neck, and then
He
he
trying to
asks
get it.
her the last time, he's like, "Do friends kiss?" And he doesn't even finish his sentence because they kiss on the lips and then they fuck. And, it does a quick pan over to the, after part where they're in the sheets and stuff. And she's wearing the t shirt now. And afterwards, he asks her, did we have good reasons for breaking up? And she says, yeah, money, schedules, goals. I do feel like those are pretty solid reasons. Like if you're on an like if you're like I'm not saying like you
And
have to make the same amount of money, but if you
yeah,
can't even talk about money, if like there is an issue within the money aspect of your relationship, I feel like it can be pretty skewed. Like it's
yeah.
hard
I just feel
to
like they
get
kind of
around
had a
that.
weak ass breakup.
They did.
You know,
You
it
know,
was just pretty weak.
he definitely chickened out, you know,
Yeah,
and the scheduling was not good either though. Like you know I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you worked opposite schedules than the person you're in a relationship with. That shit
yeah,
sucks. Anytime I have to do a late shift at work and my husband works like regular 7 to 3, and he's getting off and getting home when I'm getting ready to leave, that is a soul draining experience. I hate it.
yeah,
And not having similar goals is also really tricky to maneuver because it's like, then how are you growing together? You know? But
yeah. That's a hard one too, especially the older you get in relationships. You're kind of like, what are we doing? You know, because
yeah.
if you guys go into it with the intention of like, oh, we're just having fun, great, cool, you know, that's all this is. But it's like, oh no, I like you, we're together. It's like at some point you're gonna have to be like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, especially as like if you have goals like, oh, I want a family, I want this, I want to move, you know, and it's like if that doesn't line up, then yeah,
Yeah.
you know, a talk of breakup wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world.
No, like anyways, yeah, like goals, like for example, if somebody wanted to have kids, somebody didn't want to have kids, that's a whole other, game. And it just really makes a huge difference on a relationship. So he asks, did we have good reasons? And I honestly think that they did. um but he asks her, so if we're not in a relationship now, and he says we're just or Miranda says we're just friends. And she says we're just friends, sex. And as she's saying that, she grabs her clock and begins to set it for the morning. And he even tries to like come in and kiss her, and she like pushes him off. She's like, no, she's done. You know,
Yeah.
she got what she needed, and she's ready for bed.
Girl.
you know, she's a career woman. She
She
can't
is.
waste no
She
time.
probably has to be up in like 2 hours, you know?
No, literally. And next day, we have Samantha in bed with the stallion again. This is her trying to get past base camp 1,
Base camp 1. She's trying to get base camp 2 at least.
at least. And she says that after 2 advanced yoga classes and the hit of the best Hawaiian gold she could find, she's smoking a joint, she tries again. And
Can we appreciate the effort, dude? The
yeah,
effort just
dude.
into that.
Yeah. She
But
wants to make this
honestly,
work.
same.
And,
Yeah. If she wanted to, she would.
if she wanted to, she would. And so as he, we're gonna get banned, as he slides into her,
So, I don't give a
uh, she tells him
fuck.
nice and easy, nice and easy, nice and easy. Just go slow, slow. And as he's like going in and getting started, she's like, oh, this is good. Okay. And, she gets to a point where she's like, okay, I'm having fun. This is great. I actually
Yep.
can do this. And he's like, here we go. Here we go. And she's like, you mean we're not there yet? She thought he was all the way in. He's probably not, he's barely halfway in,
He not even halfway there.
maybe, And so she's just like, get off. Like, whoa, whoa, boy. That's what she says. Like, he's a horse.
Get down
And
there.
yeah, she's like, can we just be friends? And he does this, like,
Yeah.
afterwards, just like, okay.
I love
And
the way like he lays on her chest,
yeah,
and I was like, it made me so sad in that scene just because I was like, I feel like that would have been such a fucking dynamic duo. Like,
I
what do you
agree.
mean that this didn't work out? Like, I am upset with the writers and not upset with the writers of the show because I'm like, obviously Samantha has to
This
be our single friend in the moment.
the tip.
The
Uh
tip.
just the tip.
Just the
That's
tip.
yeah, that's all she was able to do. But no, it really is a pattern that we're seeing with her where she actually does find men that she could be with, but she's
It
sexually
does.
incompatible with them. And
Ring a ding ding.
that can
I've had that.
you
I've
know
had that for sure.
and I feel like situations like that just hurt so much more because nobody did anything wrong. It would just be so much easier if you could point at something and be like, you know what, that's why we broke up. But, you know, and,
Yeah, well, because if there was no willingness to try, or then you're like,
she
okay, well,
tried
yeah,
two advanced yoga classes and she's smoking weed. Like, she's out there trying. She's trying to relax herself but it just didn't work.
she should have just done drugs.
She did. She smoked weed.
More than that,
More than that, what drug would you
some
suggest to?
Molly, something else.
Huh. Anyways, sorry, I was like imagining what that would be like for a second. Next scene, we have Charlotte in the park with Pal. So Charlotte is on her own little adventure with this little horsey. We love Pal. And she
Oh.
decided that she was moving too quickly, trying to just like ride him. So she decides to take him on a walk.
Hey.
I know, I heard it as I said it. um and so she's walking the horse in Central Park in the same area where she saw the original horse, and she's petting him, she's getting to know him, they're getting to know each other, and she feeds him a carrot and he like nudges on her. And
Yeah.
with that, she takes it as a sign and climbs up, and she just she got the validation she needed. She was able to get back on a horse and able to get back on the saddle and was able to conquer a fear. And I honestly I love this storyline for her. I think it's like one of the most like wholesome storylines in the entire series, and it really is like cool cuz in a way we're seeing her heal childhood trauma, and that's always good, like
Mm-hmm.
good for somebody. So she just rides off into the sunset, going woohoo on her horse pal, and she conquered
And
fear.
you did mention the other day too. You're like, oh, I just realized in this episode, Charlotte's the only one that's like that. Their dilemma isn't with a man.
Yeah,
Like it's, you
yeah,
know,
it's her dilemma passes the Bechdel test. The
Chingao. That's what we're talking
yeah,
about.
and it's cool. I like it. I like that she has something that's just for her, and it's growth on her
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Um, so next scene. We have Mr. Big in his apartment alone and drinking. So what does he do?
It's a great combo.
He calls Carrie, and he calls her, but she doesn't pick up. And so back in the day, um, you had a voicemail, and that voicemail was a
A
separate
machine.
machine from your
Yeah.
phone. And you could leave somebody a voicemail, and the voicemail would play on a speaker. So even though Carrie didn't pick up the phone, she could hear Mr. Big leaving her a voicemail because she was standing by the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he says that, you know, he's so sorry about what had happened the other night and apologizes and says, I would never hurt you deliberately. You know, I
I'm glad
know,
he's self-aware.
right? He's like, I know you needed to know, and I couldn't handle the idea of somebody else telling you.
Yeah.
So at the very
Which
least,
is fair. I
he
feel like that's
does.
respectable.
I do too. I do too. And you know, when he says, "I would never hurt you deliberately," she grabs the phone and she's like, "I know you wouldn't."
Oh god,
And
don't give in so easily.
I know, I know.
Golly.
I would have just let him leave the voicemail, but whatever.
Right? I'm like, give it to me, because then
Hand
she's
it
cutting
over.
him off. Yeah, she's cutting him off mid, like, just
Mid.
his own thought process. Like, I want to hear, keep talking. Like, I
Yeah,
want
cuz
to, let me get what's going on in that head of yours.
yeah, cuz if you notice, like, and I don't know if I'm being reading too much into it, but he starts the conversation very emotional, and then when she does that, I see him close up
Yep.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he is on guard again and
But
is
what have we
not.
been talking about for 2 seasons? How these bitches are cat and mouse.
Yeah.
It's all it ever is. It's this big old fucking attention grab. It's where do I stand with the other one? How much
Yeah.
more can I push the other one? Let me call the other one. That's
Mhm.
all it is with them. And like, we get to see at this episode, I think, like, they know that.
Yeah.
I think it finally gets solidified here.
Oh yeah.
Kind of.
And he apologizes once more. He's like, I'm sorry. And she says she's sorry too. And, for the whole yelling at him in front of everybody. And she says that it was a shock, but it was the shock that she needed to move on. So in the beginning of the episode, she's like, I saw them at a restaurant and they looked happy. And she's obsessed with becoming his friend. And
You know what would have been funny is like if she saw them happy because he just proposed at the restaurant.
ooh, I wonder. I wish we could have
Butterfly
seen that.
effect.
Right?
Right?
And she says that I wish you the best and I hope that you'll be happy. And she even mentions, like, she throws out this idea of like all of them hanging out one day and like hanging out together and drinking together,
Bitch.
you know? And she says that I hope y'all will be happy. And he's like, she asks,
Good. Like
he
a
asks
grown adult
her if
should.
she means it. And I'm like,
He knows her too well.
yeah. And she's like, no, but one day I will. And, they say bye and they hang up. And sometime later, she gets a letter in the mail and she opens it up and it says, "We're engaged." She got an invitation to their engagement party.
Hey, you said you want to be friends. I wonder, you know what? You know what I'm thinking?
She
I
sent
think
it.
Natasha did that on purpose.
You think so?
Because what was I talking about? It's that subtlety of class, but you're also like this is what I aim. This is how I strive to be. I strive to be that, like, I'm not gonna do anything, and I hope you know that. But I'm gonna act like I'm unbothered, but like you still need to know where you stand.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Like, let's be
I like how
fucking
you're
real.
twirling your hair as you say it too. Oh
I
my
don't know. It's
gosh.
hard. Sometimes it's hard, or you deal with weird situations in new relationships, and
Yeah.
because like I also don't like the whole he's mine now. Like it's
Yeah.
not about that. It's not the person wasn't the goal. Like, this wasn't like, she didn't seek after him or something like that. I think some women may do that, or some people may do that. But it's just like, yeah, it's like, okay, well, I met someone, I'm happy now, like, we're happy, like, that's, you do you, I'm not messing with your stuff, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
have we had discussions about like crazy exes or crazy things like that? I don't know if we have yet.
No.
I've had my fair share. I've had my fair share of like some drastic
I feel that. I got
exes.
cyberbullied for the first time.
Girl, if we talk about fucking coconut head one more time, but I swear I will find her and I will kill her. Now we get banned. I'm
Oh my
quoting a
gosh.
movie. No, but yeah, it's just it's stupid petty shit. Like it's especially like the online stuff or like just petty. I'm like, what do you like? Grow up, especially now. Like now in this at this grown age, like what are you doing?
My whole
What
thing
are
is
you
like,
doing?
what did you expect to gain from this? Slash, did you even think that far ahead?
No.
You
I
know?
think people act on impulses. I think a lot of people I think when you have impulse control issues and like I don't know, it's hard, especially now. Like I have a lot of like restraint now, but it's very difficult. It, it takes a lot for me to maintain. I'm gonna be real. My nursing license. That's the only. That's the only thing that's getting in the way there. Let's be so fucking for real right now.
No,
Because
for
if I didn't
real.
have that, if I had nothing to live for, I'd be making Marbach proud.
Dude.
That's all I'm saying.
Stand on business.
Okay, relax.
Okay,
but
okay.
but
Uh,
no, like I the whole invitation thing, I don't know who sent it. I feel like it could have been a power move from Natasha. I could have feel like it's just big being friendly. Um I don't know.
how involved do you think he is in their wedding planning?
I think in a way for Natasha it would go something like this, like, "Oh sweetheart, did you want to invite Carrie?" That I really think that's how that went. And then he was just like, "Yeah, sure, send her one." That's how that conversation went.
Probably. Yeah.
Or I totally forgot. I didn't we don't give Natasha I think enough credit right now. And what I really want is a POV from Natasha's point of view during this time because I think it's a
Yeah.
fucking horror story. But you know what she could be doing also is judging to see where he's at with her in a manipulative manner too. She can be like, "Oh, did you want to invite Carrie?" You know, like one
Yeah.
of those kind of things. Like let's see how he really kind of feels about her, you know?
Yeah.
So we don't know. I feel like we don't give her enough credit there. We don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we really don't know. But yeah. So next scene, we have the four broads at a bar. And Carrie's talking about how she can't believe that while they're at that bar, 6 blocks away from them is where the engagement party is happening and currently going down. And Charlotte says, "I can't believe he had the nerve to invite you." And Carrie's like, "It's my fault. I'm the one who tried to be friends with him."
I
And
forgot earlier when they're at the horse stables, she was like, I can't believe it. Like, she's like, I'd be in a hospital or something if I were you. And I was like, I forgot. That's one of my favorite lines in the entire episode.
that's
I was like,
true.
same, same.
I don't know what I would do either, but you know, Carrie says that they were never friends, that they were something else, friends or something, and
Hmm.
something that didn't end with an engagement party at the plaza.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch. And then Carrie asks, why her? I feel
We
like,
all do that.
yeah,
I feel like that's a
and
very natural thing. Well, it's natural, especially if you struggle with insecurity,
yeah,
specifically too. I think that's a natural reaction to be like,
yeah,
oh, I like why her. But like, I feel like when you really struggle with who you are and insecurity, you're gonna be like, what does she have that I didn't?
yeah, and it really
I
sets the
can't dog her for
tone.
that.
It really sets the tone for her view of Natasha.
The whole rest of the
Yeah,
series.
yeah, actually for the rest of eternity. And
Yeah,
Miranda says one word, Hubble.
Hubble.
And everyone knows what she's talking about except for Samantha. And they explain that they're referencing a movie that had come out that was called The Way We Were. and they explain the plot of the movie and how it relates to the situation. So they say that in the movie, Barbara Streisand's character falls in love with Robert Redford, and they are madly in love. And apparently she has like wild curly hair, and
Mm-hmm.
part of the thing of the movie is that he they break up, and he ends up with another woman, and they call her the simple girl.
Mm.
And they say that he leaves her for the simple girl, and that's who he chooses to marry. And they talk about how you know it the world is full of Katie girls and simple girls, and they divide everybody into those two categories. And Carrie finds validation from it. She's like, and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Katie girl. Look at my hair, it's curly. And how Natasha is the simple girl. And the
Mm-hmm.
idea is that, he doesn't choose to marry her, Carrie, because it became complicated the same way that Barbara Streisand's character and Robert Redford's characters ended up. Um,
Which
so
isn't bad.
so he
You
choose
know,
yeah, he chooses the simple girl because it's easier.
some people like
And
convenience.
Carrie claims that this is exactly what's happening to her. And, in the movie, they talk about how the woman, Barbara Streisand's character, goes up to Robert Redford and touches his cheek and says, your girl is lovely, Hubble. And they reference it, and then they start singing the song in the bar
Been there.
from the
I do that
movie.
still. I do that. It's sober.
And as
You
they're
know what I'm mad? I told myself before the finale I was gonna watch The Way We Were, because I never have. I don't know, I don't remember. I'm sure my grandma probably showed me, but I don't remember it. I'm so mad I didn't watch it before to do comparisons.
Yeah,
Boo. But
but
oh well. I used
oh,
it in the I don't know if you guys know I don't if you're super fans of Sex in the City, when I posted we were doing the live, I used the song that they're singing in the restaurant for the post. It's
cute.
Barbara
Yeah.
Streisand singing that song. Oh, you know what's funny? This is I forgot to tell you this. I totally forgot to tell you this. I started a new job, so I had to go out and like shadow people, and I went to a nursing home, and it was a packed nursing home. There's a lot of patients there, and they're all out and they're doing in the day room eating. And obviously some have dementia, or how they doing their thing, and I love them for it. And I'm standing there like reading a chart or something, and a patient just comes up like about 2 feet away from me, just starts singing that song. And I was like, I was like, yo, dude. And I was like, get it. Yeah, it was crazy. This was like probably like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
I forgot to tell you, but I was like, yeah, he just started singing, just belting it out. I was just like, get
Mind reader over there.
it. Right?
Oh
But
my god.
it
But
was Jerry Psych, meaning it's all elderly, and it's a nursing home for elderly psych
that's what I'm
patients.
saying, dude.
And I was
He's
like,
on a
and
wavelength that picked that
he's
up.
on a wavelength. He picked it up. I work psych, like I get it. And so I was just kind of like, all right, belt it out, King.
I know, right? Just like
And
let him.
he was hitting it. I was like, damn, that's Barbara Streisand herself. I should have said that.
Oh my god. Uh, and what are the lyrics of the song? It's like,
Oh yeah, oh
memories,
yeah, I forgot.
like the
It is
corner
Barbara
of my
Streisand's
mind.
birthday.
Today?
Yes,
Oh wow, this is weird.
I forgot. Isn't that great? I love I
That
what's it called? Serendipity. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. I love serendipity, dude. Hell yeah.
that's crazy. That's seriously crazy. Wow. But wow.
Typing.
So in the song, the main part of it is like memories, like the corners of my mind, misty water colored memories of
Memories,
the
yeah.
way we were.
We were.
And
They're singing this, and then Samantha cries out. She goes, I miss James.
and they don't even give her any kind of room on that. And I feel like, okay, how many
Let's
times?
for context, if you don't remember who
Okay, yeah.
James was.
So,
James was the guy that she dated before, but it didn't work out because he just had a phenomenally small phallus,
okay,
and
but
it
like,
just
let's talk
didn't work
about
for
the
her.
relationship that they had, though. So, the relationship that they had, they ran into each other at a jazz club, and he referred to her
Back
as
up
an
a little.
oh, sorry. He
Okay, there
referred
you
to
go.
her as an angel and is so sweet to her. It is one of the most gentle loves we've ever seen Samantha receive,
Yeah.
especially so early on in the series. And it's just,
Which is why you mentioned that earlier when it's like a
yeah,
sex compatibility thing,
it is.
and but emotionally
And
it was all there.
honestly, can you think of another man in this entire series, except for maybe, one later on, that she cries the way that she does about James?
No.
And the way that he loved her and the way that she loved him, the way that she tried to make it work, that was a soulmate of hers. That was a great love of hers,
I
in my
wouldn't go if
opinion.
I wouldn't
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
was not able to work because of sexual incompatibility.
I don't know if it was that goes by that far as like soulmate level,
I
but
feel
like
like it
I
was, at least at first, because, like, dude, she literally said, I feel like I could marry him.
yeah, yeah, you're right. I
You
feel like it was just
know?
one of those
It
good
was one of those moments where she knew.
relationships. Yeah, and I guess that is hard to come by for
You
her.
know? Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is, like, she knew that she wanted this guy, and she was so ready for everything, and she tried to make it work. How
Yeah.
many times do we even see Samantha try to make a relationship work, you know? She wanted
Never.
that. That
Yeah.
was her man, and it was not able to work. And,
Yeah, but the
here
girls
comes,
always shush her off because her
yeah.
feelings don't matter. Just
No.
because she doesn't have them frequently, just because her romantic feelings aren't that
Mm-mm.
frequent, they always like brush her shit off. As you will see for the rest of the series, that trend continues.
It really do. And it's just, she deserved better friends.
We say this all the time.
But
Oh, where I forgot we're as we're getting closer to the end of the episode. Season 3 of And Just Like That is coming out next month.
oh snap.
So a continuation on to the rest of what we're doing. Because I have a lot of people that ask me, they're like, "Well, what are you gonna do when the show's over?" I was like, first of all, the show's 6 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all,
One
there's
season's
two
broken in
movies.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's 2 movies, and then we have a spin-off show that's now on its gonna be 3rd season. I was like, there's gonna be plenty of content. So
Yeah.
don't you worry. These broads are gonna be around for a while. Sorry to burst your bubble.
And even then, we could always do, Sex in the City trivia.
Yeah.
Different things. It'd be
There's a
fun.
lot of things we can do with it.
Yeah. So don't worry about us. We'll be around.
Yeah, we got it.
And speaking of being around, so on her way home from drinking with her friends,
Girl.
Carrie walks by the engagement party, and lo and behold, guess what color dress Carrie has on? It's white. It's completely white. There's no embellishments on it, no design, no pattern. It's a white dress. And
What
as
if
she's,
she was living vicariously through Natasha?
dude, it
But which is why I say all the time, Natasha's POV would probably it's a fucking horror movie.
it really is.
Like
And
that's crazy.
little side note, something that Natasha's character is known for in the series is wearing white. This is the one
Hmm.
time we see her wearing black. She's in an all black dress in this scene.
Which could be foreshadowing.
You know?
We'll
Um,
see.
and so they're exiting the building as Carrie walks up. And Mr. Big puts Natasha in the limo and then go walks over to Carrie.
Hmm.
So again, let's, from your perspective, like, let's all take a moment to think about this. I'm at my engagement party. I am leaving my engagement party. My partner escorts me to the car, and then walks across the street to go talk to their ex.
I'd have no part of that. I'd be walking up with him. This you wanted to. First of all, we invited you. Let's get that straight. Let's say that. Let's verbalize that, Carrie. We invited you. We invited you. So you're gonna come up to me like a grown woman, a a grown woman would, and just be like, congratulations to the two of you. If that's what all you were gonna do, if you were gonna just stop by and say congrats, I hope you guys all the best. That's what you should do. Don't just sit there and let the fucking wind blow and be dramatic and be like, come chase me some more, even though you're engaged now.
But you know what?
Bitch,
He does it.
stand up. I know, and that's
And
embarrassing. I
but
mortified.
so
Mortification.
yeah, so fuck that. Um and
What he's probably telling Natasha though is like, hey, this bitch is crazy. Let me deal with it.
yeah, probably, honestly. Um so he
Just
walks
saying.
over to Carrie and he tells her, "You're late. The party's over." She's like, "I'll say it is." I'm like,
Now you get the
"Oh,
picture.
mhm." And she says that I was on my way home and I just wanted to stop by and ask you, like, why wasn't it me?
Nor is the time or the place.
And he's shocked and it's just like, and she's like, no, like, I really need to hear you say it. And he tells her, he's like, with you, things just got so complicated. And with Natasha, and she cuts him off. Notice she never lets him fucking finish what he's saying in this
Never.
entire episode. She cuts him off and she's like satisfied with his answer because it fit what happened in the movie, you know?
Yeah.
And so she cuts him off and then she brushes his hair back, and then they pan over, they show Natasha in the
She
freaking
just
limo
looking at him.
watching, and she looks at her too. Carrie looks at Natasha as she brushes the hair back, and she tells him, "Your girl is lovely, Hubble." She quotes the movie, and he's
Literally like a side. You know what's so funny? Big is gonna go back in that car in that limo, and he's gonna be like, "Dude, like I fucking told you, she's crazy. She's over here just saying nonsense."
she
She told me
was.
like she told me your girl is lovely. Hubble. What the fuck does that mean? That's literally the conversation that's gonna be happening in that car when she's like, "What was that?"
I don't know. Natasha seems more like, to me at least, like, I don't even know if she would do a whole like, what was that? I feel like she would ask about it, but I feel like it would have been like softer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Okay, yeah. No, I just uh yeah, it's so hard, and it's hard to look at sometimes, like,
That's a hard
just
watch.
yeah, and he says, "I don't get it." And she's like, cuz he doesn't get the movie reference.
No. Which is
And
kind of bizarre to me, knowing like Big's love and appreciation for like older music and
well,
movies.
it's completely out of context.
That's true.
Completely. And he's like, "I don't get it." She's like, "You never did." And then she leaves, and as she's leaving, she's seeing a horse and the horse's handler, and the horse is resisting getting muzzled.
She's trying to be
And
all prolific here.
she is. And she decides that maybe she wasn't the one who broke him. Maybe he was not successful in breaking her. Does that make
Girl,
sense?
let's not give yourself that much credit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, and then she says that maybe some women aren't meant to be tamed, but maybe they're meant to find somebody who is just as wild as they are to run with. Which
Yeah, it's
I
called
do
just being
agree on that
compatible.
part. Yeah. And it there are a few scenes in this show where I feel like there's a montage given to a moment that's meant to dramatize it,
Yeah.
that it didn't deserve that. She was being an asshole and she didn't deserve that like dramatic montage of
Yes, they
her
made
making the like
it.
right
That's what I'm
choice.
saying.
Like it
They made it
really
like some big prolific Carrie's a big
yeah.
like independent. Oh yeah, you know what? Like I'm this big character and no one can tame me. And they made her bigger than what it was. I was like, she's a fucking psychopath for
Yeah.
doing what she just did right
That
now.
was so
And you're hyping
disrespectful
her up.
and just not nice and just honestly like it was so self-centered. This is what I'm talking about with the narcissism. Like that was their special event and she managed to like make it about
Yeah.
her in the end. And I think that like honestly wearing the white dress was on purpose. There's no way that it wasn't. We see Carrie in a plain, like not plain but like in a solid white dress like twice, maybe three times in this
Yeah.
entire series, you know? And
And
each
you hear
time it
in
has to
the
do with
dialogue
marital stuff.
the or her like monologue in the background when she's talking about the engagement party, she goes, well, I mean, it was on the way home. I'm like, nah, you
Mhm.
calculated that, you
Mhm.
planned that. There's no way
Mhm.
you were like, oh, I mean, I'll just stop by. Bullshit, dude. You
No
either were gonna plan to
bullshit.
go or you weren't.
And I feel like there's so many times in this episode where she's like, this is normal behavior. And it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. There is no reason that like she should
You want to
like
know what I know? Why was there no discussion with the girl? She didn't talk. Should I go with the girls? There's
mm,
no discussion about what happened after. I bet you anything she didn't tell those bitches what she did. That's one of her
no.
secret crazy behaviors.
Yeah. And
Because if my friend did that, I'd be like, you did what at their engagement party?
I would too. I'd be pissed.
Yes.
Like, I can't even imagine that happening to me. And I can't imagine wanting to be friends with somebody who would do something like that. You know, it's
I was about to
just
say I can't imagine happening to me. I'm like, it's never gonna happen to me because that bitch is gonna be at her hair.
you wouldn't
Uh,
have stayed in the limo, probably.
no, I would not have
Like,
stayed in the limo. Good luck.
and, you know, I feel like
Out
in
of
that
here.
scene, they kind of, yeah, see, like, I'm crazy, but I'm not that
Hey,
crazy.
girl, hey.
That's exactly. Like,
Look at the queen. I referenced this lovely lady in not our last. Was it the last one? The 20 something girls versus 30 something women. This was my girly girl. So one of my Gen Zers. This is one of my girls who makes me feel not so old, even though she was like, "Oh my god, you don't look that old." She makes me feel young.
oh my God.
I
I feel
love it.
that she gives you the 411.
She really does. She really does. I miss you, girl. I hope you're holding down the fort at our crazy place.
Man. But yeah, that's how that went down. And that is the closing to season 2. That is what we're
That
left with.
that that
The
is our finale.
disrespect.
Yeah, like when we were talking about when we referenced the past couple episodes when we were like, you know, you're so
A
cunty. Hey, like when we reference like, hey, strap in, it gets crazy. Like this is what stuff we're talking about. And guys, this is
Mhm.
just not even the tip of the iceberg, not
No.
even the tip of the stallion,
No. She gets so
not
much
even the tip
crazier.
of
Like
Mount
it
Everest.
I think I've seen some like mixes and stuff where like people online have uh divvied up the scenes where Natasha encounters Carrie. But
Yes.
if you pull those out and just go back to back with just Natasha's point of view, because like you think about it, she's met this woman one time, and the entire time Carrie never addressed her directly.
No.
No, she wouldn't.
Which is so disrespectful.
Yeah. As she's like, "Hello, Carrie. It's nice to meet you." And
Yeah,
she just,
I've heard so much about you. I'm like,
yeah.
get it, bitch.
And she refused to acknowledge her, and now she shows up at the engagement party like, and I have to wonder, you think she knew about that lunch?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Yeah.
But yeah, so there's the end of our season 2. I
Yeah.
can't believe I'm so glad we've made it. I'm so glad um we've gotten this far. We're almost a year in. Yeah, I mean, we're still kicking, we're still going. I know we took like a couple little breaks, but we're here and we made it
Yeah.
through. And my goodness, and I'm really excited because I tell everyone, especially with this show, it really picks up after season 2. And I'm
Yeah.
really glad. And I've heard people say that to me who I haven't said that to. And they're like, oh, it starts to pick up after season 2. I'm like, yes, it does.
It
It
does.
does. So with that, keep watching, watch the show, watch us. The tea gets hotter. It gets so much better. We're having a lot of fun doing this. We're gonna hope to get back to that week schedule for you guys. It works better for us. I think it works better for you guys. Um, as always, thank you so much for all the encouragement, all the support we've had thus far. Every view, every watch, every like, every comment. We love it. We're so excited. Our little special announcement, ring a ding, 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 ding. We waited till the end, and it's nothing crazy, but it's something special to us for sure and for you guys. But we finally, officially will have merch ready. Hopefully by, I would say, like in 2 weeks for sure, to have everything. So I'm really excited.
Yep.
So
Already
we're
orders
getting,
coming in.
yeah, pretty much. So most of it. So we're getting stickers, we're getting t-shirts, and we're getting hats. That's what we're starting with, and I'm really, really, really excited. Once we have everything like in our possession and stuff, obviously I'll post it if you guys want to purchase it. If not, I'm just gonna throw it at you, and you're gonna wear it for free
Like a
advertisement.
t-shirt gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that shit in t-shirt gun. I'm gonna take it to Fiesta, and everyone's gonna be wearing each other's
Hey.
soulmate t-shirts.
Oh my god, that'd be
Oh
so
yeah,
cool.
Alonzo.
Hey.
Um, but yeah, and so we're really excited. I'm really excited to get that out. Just for like, just I obviously, well, not obviously, but like I'm out the town a lot, and I'm doing like comedy stuff and events, and I'm always seeing stickers or like business cards in bathrooms, and I'm like, I keep kicking myself for being like, oh, I don't have ours yet. So I'm really excited to get our name out there more locally and stuff. So but yeah, so tell your friends, tell your wives, tell your husbands, tell your kids to watch. Well, don't tell your kids to watch
I
us.
was like, okay, tell your
unless
cousin,
they're over
tell
the age
your
of
neighbors.
18.
Yeah.
Unless they're over the age of 18 or with adult supervision. but but yeah, so no, that's our little surprise for you guys. I'm super excited. I think I'm just excited to like, I'm like, oh, I made this, and it's something that we do, and I'm really excited. So I hope you guys are excited. The designs should be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited to have our stuff out and just rep each other's soulmate, everyone, and I hope you guys are too. If not, I'm forcing you guys to wear it. But me and my baby watching.
Oh my god. Just like start talking
She
like Miss Rachel.
and then Samantha encountered the stallion. Can you say stallion? So I had to do my Miss Rachel impersonation.
That sounded like Dora.
I was raised by Dora. I'm sorry. We're having a it's a generational learning curve. Excuse
So when you
me.
said, can you say it? Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry, but dude, that's so fucking funny. You're wearing.
Yay!
I'm wearing it.
Alonzo's excited.
Meow.
I'm wearing it right meow. Right meow. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the hats. I typically am a hat girly, especially in the summer. So very excited for that. And then that is not to like what we're saying too. We're like, well, what do we get in this first batch? Because like I'm a hoodie, like I'm a jacket girl. I love a zip up. So obviously, but it's summer right now. So like, okay, Jacob wore a hat. Thank you. You're
Hey.
okay, Jacob. First of all, you're wearing more than a hat. You're wearing everything, and you're wearing it on stage.
Period.
I'm over here talking shit. I've yet to wear his merch on stage too. So I'm like, I got to do that first. Anyway, but no, we're deciding what to do. I eventually want more. Obviously, this first batch, we just want to get some stuff out there. But I'm like, I know my aunt wants like a mug or like a mouse pad. She's like, I want like a mug and a mouse pad. I was like, okay, I can make that
She's
happen.
so
But
cute.
we want to, yeah, like little stuff here and there, like for sure stickers. But yeah, I'm like, I want some hoodies. I want like a jacket. I want some pants. I want shorts. I want some booty
Oh my
shorts. What
god,
I
you guys
really
just the
want,
shorts with like the butt.
yeah, you bet your ass. The Juicy's coming back. I want crop tees like this. So I think they have them. I'm gonna do regular tees right now, but I really want like a cropped
I
tee
thought you
like this.
cropped it
Like,
yourself.
no, it's not the same. It's not the same cut. I
Oh, I
need
see.
the fitted cut. Yeah. So yeah. So I want to get some of those hopefully. But oh,
I
Nayeli wants
love
a
it.
thong. You know what? You're right, and the design would be so cute.
Oh my
The
god.
design would be so cute for
EOS
it.
over the crack.
An EO, no, on the front part.
Oh, I was imagining it on the back. Okay.
No, but yeah, no. Okay, well, for Nayeli, we'll do thongs. So
Special
not
order.
just her. Special order. Hey. But yeah, no, if you guys are wanting something too, if you see the merch, it comes out, you're like, oh, I like that, but I want this. Like, let a
Let us
girl know. Because I'm excited too. But yeah, no, I'm just excited to keep this broadcast growing. It's something that's very near and dear to our hearts. We're now almost a year in. And I'm just so happy with everything we've already done thus far. Like even having guests on is like so wildly amazing to me too. And just like, I'm so happy with where we've gotten so far and
Same.
just excited to see the growth continue to happen. So, but yeah, so thank you guys again so much for tuning in to the season 2 finale live. We'll get started.
Billboard. I'd be down.
Hell yeah. We'll get started with season 3 here soon enough. I don't know exactly when, probably within, if not next week, probably the next 2 weeks, and then we'll get started on that schedule. But yeah, so we did it. We made it through. Thank you guys all for tuning in so much. We're so excited to see you back with season 3. So we will see you then. Thank you guys so much. So bye.